Hello everyone. This is me building my first React application, and things are going pretty well. I think I got everything down packed, and even although I'm building something like in React, I'm not like a noob developer. I've been developing cloud applications for about 8 years now. I'm almost completed with my master's degree in cybersecurity with Johns Hopkins University. I have two nano degrees at MIT in quantum computing and artificial intelligence, and I'm a graduate with a bachelor's in cyber network security and cloud computing. And I've been programming for 8 years, developing web technologies, and this is actually my first React application. Things are pretty smooth. I developed in Angular applications and everything like that, so I understand the concepts of state management, model view, binding, MVC, MVVM, and my impression of React, it's pretty smooth. It's really nice. As long as you got the state management figured out with React, I think that's like the key feature in here. Everything else is just JavaScript basically. Everything is rendered with JavaScript. The only main concept that React really offers, I believe, is just the state management, which is basically, and also the usage of classes. That's the other thing. You can also you can also have the option to develop in TypeScript. But for React, I don't think this is like a hard requirement because there's not much advantage in developing object-oriented style with React. I mean, it's basically one component, one controller, one state management, and handling that state management. Now, I doubt that, but just programmatically, like I don't think necessarily you have to call this. This is just simply an object that exists inside the class, and you're handling state management with this method. Basically, this is almost like an observable, right? You're passing in a function, you're passing in any parameter, and then you're updating it as a function. So that's interesting. I wonder. I kind of wonder what the design structure is, the design pattern with this. I think this would most closely relate with the concept of observables, as basically you're passing or you're updating an object in reference, and this object in reference will exist in many locations. So I don't know if the library is kind of managing the state of this object. I mean, that's what it's supposed to do, but there's basically a concept to that design pattern to handle that, and which I'm aware of. But this is basically the thing. Like you're just managing the state with the application. It's a one-way binding when you're rendering the data. And the two-way binding happens when you call a function to update the data. And basically, updating the data, you're going to have to call this function to kind of keep track of that data as an observable. Now, this is very similar to the concept of Knockout.js before AngularJS. And Knockout.js, I have experience with the concept of observables, or introduced with Knockout.js. Then that is carried over with AngularJS with model view binding. And then is explored even deeper and just building an entire framework off of with Angular 2+. And now they have React. And how does this application look at the end? I mean, it's pretty okay. Like, what I'm trying to build is a project management solution for freelancers. And basically, there's another application where, this is actually a very simple one. I mean, this is my first React thing, but basically, there's another application where users interact with to kind of display advertisements. They schedule calls with clients, and basically after that, they're going to create like a project management solution for their clients, and that project management solution is going to generate a link for your clients to pay their invoices. And this is supposed to be that application now, and I'm kind of questioning how it looks and how it feels, because it kind of gives me the vibes of like a restaurant menu, And the UI UX styling is pretty simple because I didn't make it too complicated, and it looks almost like a menu, like like a takeout menu, and and basically it kind of has this link to a payment invoice, and these are all sample links, so I didn't put any actual invoices to it. But basically, you can attach like what would you call it? Something like a something like a payment solution, like a Stripe payment, or it could be what do you call it? Squarespace payment. No, Square payment. Square has a payment solution, I believe, or any kind of link that kind of sends them to a payment link. So I call it pay me here invoice 123. This is just a sample link, but basically, so they have the option to pay invoices now, and the project management tool basically is going to calculate all the tasks that you have created. So it's something like Jira, but Jira is focused more for enterprise development and performance tracking, velocity tracking and performance tracking, more of a project management tool. This is a little bit different, and this is more of a solution for freelancers. Freelancers are the project managers basically for their own work. So that's the idea here. I wanted to build something a little bit more focused for freelancers. I want to be able to send my clients a link, and basically as they're paying for the work, like it could be broken down into weeks, and every single week is going to provide a deliverable. Basically what they're going to have is the ability to track tasks, see the feature and details that is being built. They're going to be able to see the changes that is being made, and maybe a deployment link for their website or whatever you're building them. It could be any kind of freelance work. It could be like like content development, or any kind of video editing, or marketing, advertisement, whatever it is. But like basically it's easier to kind of like provide links to your work, and the updates to the progression of your work, and the rate that you're charging your clients, the amount of work you're doing, keeping track of your hours, and at the same time you're charging your clients per invoice, and you're completing the work as you're checking off the work as it's being completed. So that's the idea, and basically like this is going to create like a project management solution. I'm still thinking and debating about the UI UX template. It looks very simple, and I kind of hate the idea of things looking too simple. But like in comparison to the other application that I have built, I kind of showcase that a lot more. Okay, so what do you call this? I mean, I like the look and feel of this application a lot more than the React one. But I'm still trying to like figure out some sort of simple UI design with enough content to kind of like make it look more like a project management tool, and like a receipt, like an online receipt, in a payment tracking thing, rather than what I'm seeing here. And maybe what I can do is kind of take this piece out over here and kind of make it more horizontal. And I don't know if I should like call it like put it somewhere over here and kind of extend this dashboard out a little bit more. I don't know exactly. Maybe I don't know if that's, well, whatever. Still, it is what it is. Okay, so the next thing, I guess, I guess I can talk about that other project that I've been building, but let's see. Well, there's this other thing that I've done. I kind of been messing with Node JS, actually, Node.js, and I built a test application with Node. And I just started this, actually. I'm not like an expert with Node, but I did something funny, and this is something that I can end up developing like a Kali Linux kind of project, with a way to kind of like hack people and shit. So and I want to show people how this works. And all I really did is just set up the SSL certificates for this, basically this Node.js thing. Node.js is actually pretty neat. It's a very compact web API server. It's a very compact web server built in JavaScript, and it's very lightweight. So I think this is npm start or something else. I know what it is. This is node app.js. Okay. So this is a pretty interesting application because like it's so easy to build something like this. You can launch this one really fast. You can launch a very fast web server and you can write some code really, really fast. And in here what I'm doing is I'm actually sending the user, whoever logs into the default site, a script with a keylogger, and basically is attached to an iframe. And the iframe basically will take any request and be able to clone any website in an iframe. So let me kind of show you how that works. So let's say I have, let's say I go to localhost 8000, right? And I send an iframe to a website, upwork.com. I send this request and watch what's going to happen. You're going to see, you see Upwork load up on my screen. This is the actual Upwork page, by the way. So if you sign in here, like, let's say you sign in here. Well, okay, it's refusing to connect because I'm working through an iframe. So they do have some sort of security feature here, but you see the idea here. The idea is that you're embedding this website in an iframe, and you can clone any website you want just by sending the link. Let's say you go to credit1.com and you're basically, you can mimic and clone any website you want by sending the website request as a URL. And basically, if you can resolve the SSL certificate with a real domain name service, you're going to get a legitimate HTTPS request, which is going to be green lighted. And if you host a URL that is like a close enough name and you redirect any kind of website, basically you can build an iframe and route it to any website, and inside that iframe you just embed a keylogger where basically you're just capturing any user click and request. You get what I'm saying? And you can send that as an API request back to your Node.js server to capture those events and logging it or something like that. So if you launch something like that in Kali Linux, it's kind of like, oh, whoa, here's a website. Let me poison your DNS and let me route you to this application location, and let me just see what you're typing in that application. And you can run all of that in a Kali Linux tool, and and this is what you're, like if you're hacking someone on a network, you could probably you definitely get away with that. So if they're like logging in, whatever they're filling in, you just be able to keylog it or take the text element and kind of read off the properties and send it back. That could work. I mean, Node.js is pretty lightweight, so you could definitely code something up real quick. But anyway, those are just some bad ideas that you shouldn't be doing, but it's just ideas that came into my head and I thought, hey, that looks funny. So yeah, man, like honestly, I used to be like, I used to do this a lot more when I was younger, but I'm not that interested in doing this stuff anymore, so it is what it is. But anyway, this is a Node.js server. I kind of just tested just to see if I could run something, and this is kind of like my version of Hello World to Node.js, and it is it's a pretty good Hello World, I'll tell you that. And I'm kind of proud of that. So this is just me being a clown, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually hook that initial website that I just showed, and kind of like, and hook it up to this Node.js API endpoint to basically pull the data that I need for this project management service, and basically like create a platform for freelancers. I think it'd be pretty nice and useful. But anyway, this was a pretty interesting and fun thing to do for the meantime. It was whatever. I mean, there's nothing else to do. I mean, the market still sucks. So, just trying to stay productive and try to find some avenues to build potential in the future and stuff like that.